Okay, my name is Kelly Collins. I am 2008 Grand Am GT Rolex champion. I have been an 11-year GM factory race car driver from 1999 to 2010. I've stood 4 times on the podium at Le Mans. I've won Petit Le Mans twice. I've won the 12 Hours of Sebring. I've won the 24 Hours of Daytona. I've been a Porsche factory support driver. I've also driven for BMW, Toyota, and Honda. I've pretty much spent my whole racing career in sports cars. I also was a 20-year veteran of the Skip Barber Racing School, where I was a chief and lead instructor, and I did 12 years of test driving for the Skip Barber Race Series. Well, I can say for the first outing in this car at Chuckwalla Raceway, I was pleasantly surprised with how balanced this car was. I spent a lot of years driving very high horsepower cars like this with slip angles that are of the slightest degree. Either you have adhesion or you don't have adhesion, and you can find yourself in a whole lot of oversteer or understeer very easily. This car is very user friendly. The tip in on the throttle, the balance, if anything, it borders just slightly on a little bit of understeer. But at any moment, I can correct that with a little breathe, balance the car through the corner. I can brake right up to the turn-in point. I can get rotation if I want or not. Anytime that I tipped in on the throttle, it would immediately go to just a slight amount of push, which would be a very safe automobile, versus tipping in with 700 horsepower, lighting up the rear tires, and finding myself in a whole lot of oversteer. Basically, this is the way that I would set up a car if I was setting up the school race cars for the Skip Barber Racing School. Exactly the same type of balance, a neutral to slightly pushing car. All the throttle, the braking, everything is linear. It's a stable platform. It allows me to drive the car and not worry about losing control, spinning the car. Anytime that I found myself in a little bit of oversteer, it was all very predictable. It stepped out slowly, and then I could, just come right off the throttle and straighten the car back out again. Okay, what I can say as well is all the time that I was driving the car, at any moment I can throttle steer the car. There was no places on the track or when I was driving the car that ever gave me an unsettled feeling like, uh-oh, I'm on the brink of something here. Everything was predictable. And in any of the corners, whether it was second, third, or fourth gear, I can throttle steer the car. Just by modulating, squeezing, and breathing on the throttle, I can pick up and get direction change without even ever turning the steering wheel. When I was on the track, every time that I pushed the car, every time that I went out harder and harder and harder, and ultimately there at the end, we were running very quickly, I did not experience any bad habits with the car. It was completely, in my opinion, very safe and predictable. I never once had a moment where I was thought, uh-oh, I'm gonna lose control of the car. Not once. I immediately went to full power just because that's where I want to be. I did notice though, leaving the pits, when the intrusiveness of the 4 increments of horsepower delivery, 1 was very intrusive, 2 was very similar to 1, 3 was much further down the line, and then 4 is where I like to operate. I had a great time, loved it. Can't wait to go back out again. We're making a few small adjustments. That's what we're doing here today, getting things a little bit more acclimated to me and my driving style as far as the pedals, and we're looking for a baseline setup to, when we start to, distribute the cars, people will have a baseline setup that's a safe pedals assembly with the proper adjustment.